If you're a business owner that noticed lately that people come to interviews to be interviewed for a job in your business, and they come with all these expectations of freedom, of their work having a purpose, and you feel like their expectation overall, they're kind of entitled in a way, then this video is for you. My name is Aristotle Daskal, and I help people achieve goals with love. Yesterday, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, business owner, and he was surprised that lately has been seeing many more young people, I don't know, Gen Z, that when they come to interview, they come with not only to answer questions about, yeah, Mr. Business Owner, what do you want from me? What do you want to hear about me? But they also have the audacity of asking, what is the purpose of this job? What is my impact if I'm going to be working here? What am I truly helping out? Who am I truly helping out? And he was surprised because what he noticed is that if the business doesn't give them an answer that is aligned with what they truly want in terms of impact, purpose, freedom, then they simply refuse the job. And there's so many businesses that can't find employees now because of that, because of the expectations of younger generation people that want to get jobs. And they're frustrated because they consider that that's entitlement. And we were talking about where is the root? Why does this younger generation do that? And what we notice is that looking back into my parents' generation, they had it the hardest out of the latest generation, I would say. At least mine were in the communism time and in the Eastern Europe, and that was very difficult for them. And they barely had any jobs given by the government only, and they really didn't have what to choose much. And then my generation, suddenly we had more freedom. We had, at least let's call it democracy, but it's, how democracy is nowadays, unfortunately, very corrupted. That's what I mean by it. But anyway, you had your parent, you had way more option to choose from what you want to do. And then the business owners didn't really matter for me when I was trying to look for a job. I was grateful that I can get job in an area that at least I have some form of interest. Now, this younger generation has it even easier because my generation, my parents' generation, we offer this younger generation a context in which they have where to choose. They had better education. They weren't beaten as kids like we were. They weren't punished. They weren't alone all day long with a key on their neck. They didn't live like that. They had way more cuddling relationships, love relationships. So there's two types of people here that say that is an entitlement for the younger generation. But what I truly believe is that it's a new generation with a way higher consciousness. They understand that this is how things should be. We had it rough. We had it difficult. And the new generation had better. And they are living now out of that position of being protected, of knowing who they are, of knowing their worth. It wasn't my case. It wasn't my parents' case. We were living out of fear. We were doing what we thought that we can do, and that was an out of fear. Now, of course, that the business owners, the government, they enjoy that in a way, because that way us having fear was so easy for them to control and manipulate. And I would say in the last 30 years, people have been, or 50 years, a lot of business owners have gotten used to that. They had the freedom. They've overcome the fear, when they started business and they saw that now they have freedom, but they still rely on the fear of other people of, oh my God, I need a job. I'm desperate for a job. I'm going to do anything that you want. And the business owners got used to having people staying in line to get a job. And then the business owners would be like I am the savior of the world. If you're not going to be good, I'm going to kick you out. There's a lot of people out there for me to bring and save. And now this younger generation know that that's not how things are. They don't have to be afraid. They have value no matter what they choose to do, no matter what an employer says, they still have value. And there are ways for them to build businesses maybe themselves. There are easy ways nowadays to make money, like go DoorDash or other things that they're so easy for people to have a survival, a basic comfort money right now. Now, of course, when you look at this younger generation, that they would be even okay with doing DoorDash and the rest of the time spend it really casual, living in a van, living on a beach in a tent, they're okay with that. But my generation was not okay with that because we were programmed by the society, driven by greedy business owner, by a manipulative government, where we were taught that we have to spend all our monthly money on a big stove, on a nice house, on a big car. So that's how we grew up. We grew up with having to work so that we can spend the money on what the world calls normal. And the younger generation are not like that. They know that they have the choice on what to spend their money so that they can be happy. And when an employer goes to them and says, well, you just have to do it. I don't care if you like it. I don't care what you say. They just say, no, thank you very much. I can live under a bridge in a tent. I'm going to be more happy that way. And for us, for my generation, I'm 40 now, and for other people that are even older, that's like, what do you mean? Are you a hobo? Because we're used to having the standard that everybody considers normal, but we've sold our soul, most of us. That's why it's so difficult for me, because my consulting business is helping business owner transition from doing what they don't like doing, like various stuff in their business or the overall business themselves, and transition to living with passion and doing what they love. And you know what? It's way more difficult for me to do that for people that are 40, 50, 60 than for people that are 30 or 25 plus or 20 plus, because they already grew up with that mentality. Now, when they get into it's a fire in their heart right now. I want to be happy. I want to have freedom. And if that means not having so many things, or that means not eating out so much, or not having those big fancy cars or those latest clothes, I don't care. I want to be happy. There are way more people in the new generation thinking like that. So who did it get it right? Is it me, my generation, our parents' generation, or is the new generation? And why did they get it right? Because someone else sacrificed in a way, and they gave them more love and more acceptance, and they received that in the family. Because their parents, my generation, my parents' generation, felt safer, at least. And that made us, sacrifice without knowing, maybe even without realizing our freedom, but at least we gave our kids better education, more love, and now they have that freedom. So if you're frustrated that your kid seems to be entitled because they want more freedom, that's not entitlement, or that's a natural entitlement. It's their freedom. It's the entitlement to have their own opinion and to do what they want. Yeah, if they would expect you to do something for them, and they would ask it and they would demand it, that's in a way the negative type of entitlement. But doing what they want, not accepting offers that they don't feel aligned with, I applaud them for that. I wasn't able to do that because I lived in fear a lot of my life, and they don't have that. So when someone comes to you as a business owner is telling you, I don't feel that I have much purpose in this business if I would work here, or I don't feel that I have any more an impact in my business, is there truth in that? Because ultimately, you have the chance to have an impact in people's lives and allow them to have an impact in the world. So you are an impact engine if you allow your employees to have more impact. Rather than seeing yourself as the boss, which is just living out of fear that you have to be obeyed, that people just have to listen to you. You have the opportunity to increase your consciousness and to allow other people to increase their consciousness and fulfill their calling, their destiny. You, as a business owner, transition from living in a business out of fear as a business owner and transition into being a business owner out of love, out of a mission to increase consciousness. And if you are a young generation person watching this and you feel like, man, should I continue this? Should I really follow my dream? I tell you, follow your dream, follow your heart, do what is truly meaningful to you, because there's always going to be place for that. There's always going to be room for that. Yeah, you're always going to have to choose, but choose what is true for you and give up the society's standards if you don't truly feel in your heart they're authentic with you. I think that a lot of articles that are being written, a lot of videos that I see talking about the entitled new generation because they want to do only what they want. I think that deep inside, they're either jealous because they have never allowed themselves that freedom, or they're just afraid for their business because who am I going to hire? Who am I going to rip off from now on? Who am I going to manipulate? Who else is going to kiss my ass? Because I have the need to be obeyed and people to listen to me blindly. So maybe this is an opportunity for you to step into your freedom more. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you because you've been doing that fear approach for way more years. And maybe you're still carrying around the baggage from your family. And maybe it's easier for the young generation because they had maybe more love from their parents. But that doesn't make you less. You chose, in a way, to be born at the time that you were born, to experience the hardships that you've gone through. But the purpose was for you to understand better and to help others after that. Now, if you choose to understand, your increasing consciousness is going to be like a slingshot. Like you're going to grow so fast if you just open your heart. Don't think that it's too late for you to have freedom as a business owner, to have true freedom, to spend more time with your kids, with your grandkids, to spend time with your hobbies. No, there's always time for that. Open your heart. Live free.